Welcome back to the channel, gentlemen. We're back again with another edition of Midweek Football on the Football Heritage. Today we'll be looking at Boxing Day fixture, which is tomorrow in the English Premier League. All the other leagues are closed right now for Christmas, but the Premier League, a lot of games will be played tomorrow. It is a tradition in England, a day after Christmas is Boxing Day, and they have a lot of football going on. And the first game we'll be looking at is the Manchester City game. Man City, they will be at home to Everton. And City, they are struggling right now. And if you look at the Premier League table, if the Premier League, for example, if the Premier League started November 1st, City will be 20th place in the Premier League table with 4 points. So the last 8 games in the Premier League, they have won 1, draw 1, which is 4 points, lost 6. That's a relegation form. The only good thing for City, they started the season well. Before this bad run of form, they were first place in the Premier League. This is the reason why they are not closer to relegation zone, because they started the season well. Coming into this game, Man City, they have played their 12 last game, their last 12 game, 12 consecutive games in all competition. They have won only 1, lost 9, draw 2. That's a terrible record. And Everton, on the other hand, they have one of the best defense in the Premier League. And their last 5 games in the Premier League, they have conceded only in one game, the game against Manchester United, where they lost 4-0. That's the only time Everton conceded in the last 5 games. And they have also scored only in one of their last 5 games. The 4-0 win against Wolves, the only time Everton managed to score. Their last 2 games, they drew 0-0 against Arsenal. They also drew 0-0 against Chelsea. And that's the top 2. They managed to stop the top 2 from scoring. So that game going to be a very difficult game tomorrow. First game, 6:30 Central Time tomorrow. It's going to be a very, very difficult game for Manchester City. And if we look at the both teams, the last 5 meetings, Man City, they have the edge. They have won 4 of their last 5 Premier League meetings, with Everton 1 draw, 0 defeat. So Everton, they have now won a game against Manchester City in the last Premier League games. But tomorrow is a different game. Everton last 5 games, they have 0 defeat in the last, 0 defeat in the last 5 games. 1 loss. They lost 1. They draw 3. They win 1. And for City, the last 5 games in the Premier League, just 1 win, 1 draw, 3 defeats. And tomorrow game is the first game. Let me come to you, Filippo Inzaghi. What's your take on the game tomorrow, Everton at Man City?
First of all, I would like to greet my brother, Jaya. Thank you for seeing you today. I'm very happy to be here.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Tomorrow game, Manchester City, because they are in a difficult time, difficult season now. You are already, you gave us so much record, but they are being struggling this free time. So tomorrow game, I believe that they want to be tomorrow. They want to be Everton, because when they play them, they have last meeting, they have edge on Everton. So tomorrow game, I believe that they are going to make a way, so they can, when they can grab a 3 point tomorrow, maybe they can start their spirit from there. So when they beat tomorrow, so it will be coming another marathon for the Premier League because they play well now. They are no match now because they are doing for almost 2 months now because they've been beating them. But when they beat tomorrow game, I believe that they coming with another strategy. Because Pep is struggling now. He is because all the players because it's a time for everything. Now they are go out of struggle. So tomorrow game they want to beat tomorrow, but my taste is Manchester City is going to be two to three zero like that.
That's your prediction.
That's my prediction.
3-0 to Man City.
Manchester City Everton 0.
All right, Filippo Inzaghi, thank you very much. Mr. Connor, let me come to you tomorrow. City, they are at home to Everton, and they have been in a very, very poor form. One win in their last 12 consecutive games, one win in their last 8 Premier League games. And tomorrow opposition, Everton, Sean Dash, Everton, their last 5 games, they have only conceded in one. Since then, they have played the top two in the Premier League, Liverpool and Arsenal. Excuse me,
Chelsea.
Yes,
the first and third play, the second and third play, Chelsea and Arsenal. They didn't concede against Chelsea and Arsenal. So what's your take on the game tomorrow?
Well, I want to say go even to my brother, go even to you, Musa Conan, and our follower, listener, well wisher, friends and sympathizers all around the world are watching us. Um, before I can go into there, we got two more games to crowdmark the first phase of the season. Man City have played 17 games. Um, they're 2 games away from the first phase of the season. This is a tough moment for Man City. We're seeing it. They have struggled against every single team, be a good team, average team. Um, they are struggled a lot. They struggle against all of them. They struggle against smaller side. Um, one of their problems have been scoring goals. Man City not scoring the kind of goals we used to seeing then. The number of goals they've been scoring in previous game prior to their bad run. Um, they are struggling on scoring goals, um, which is bad for Man City. And going against one of the a team with a tough defense or one of the best defensive team in the league this season, it's a tricky match. It's a tough one. Despite Everton poor run to the season, they're not scoring goals. They're not winning too many games. But defensively, they've been so solid. All right, they have tested so many top side. The second and third played in the league. Arsenal and Chelsea went to Everton and they couldn't score a goal. We're seeing Chelsea scoring so many goals this season. Um, Even against Liverpool, they managed to score a goal. So this is um, it's a clear cut that Chelsea is a goal scoring team, and they managed to defend against Chelsea in the 90 minute throughout the game and couldn't concede. Arsenal as well. So you cannot come out to say that game Mercedes is going to win with high score. They might because Mercedes is trying to put all their broken pieces together in order to restore or save that season. Every game for Mercedes right now is like a funnel, trying to put out their best performances, trying to do everything humanly possible to get a positive result. Um, if they get a chance and they convert them, that would be good for Man City. But with the current form, the current run of Man City, struggling in a game, struggling especially in the second half. All of the games that Man City, you know, played of recent, they struggled in the second half than the first half. We are seeing that. We saw that their last game against Aston Villa. Um, they fight in the first half, and then the second half, the team, the midfield kind of crumble, they break down. They couldn't compete in the midfield, and it was just fortunate for them that Aston Villa couldn't score more than two. So it's going to be the same. Attacking wise, Everton is not good enough to go for kill or to go and trouble Man City defense. They don't have to. Their defense is not up to task right now. Man City. So every department of Man City team right now kind of struggling. They struggle in the midfield. They struggled in attack. They're struggling in defense. And this is the biggest challenge. If you good in defense, you're not conceding too many goals, you know, and then you try to talk about strengthening your midfield before start scoring goals. But every department of the current team of Man City is struggling. And this is alarming, you know. You just said it right. The fortunate part for them this season, they started the season so well. They won so many games and accumulated that number of points. If that struggle was going, if that struggle was going to start from the beginning of the season, but now we're saying something different. But um, the belief still there. People still believe that Man City can come back and save that season because they got one of the greatest manager um, in football history, or right now, modern football, one of the greatest manager in modern footballs, heading Man City, and they do have so many quality in the Man City team, despite their terrible form. You know, people still believe those guys can still come back. They can still um, regain their footing. They can still deliver because it happened to them a couple of seasons. They struggle uh, at certain part of the season, and in the final analysis, we found out that they were able. They managed to turn the season around by winning the league. But this is a different season. I haven't seen this. You know, this is a total different season. Messi going 12 games out of 12 games, winning one. That's a relegation. You know, that's a relegation performance. You're doing stuff like that. If Man City was any kind of ordinary team, by then they sitting right at the bottom. But you know, to that game tomorrow is a tricky one. Um, I'm not seeing Man City winning. If they win, they got to put out a serious fight because those guys. I saw them against Chelsea. You know, that result was kind of shocking to me. I do have to believe that Chelsea was going to win, but their their record this season, the kind of defensive work they're doing, and the manager they got, he's one of the best when it comes to uh, building defense. He's one of the best in the Barclays Premier League. Um, Brentley, a previous team, he did that at Brentley, and now he's doing it with Everton. Everton used to concede so many goals, but now it's different. Mate gonna win the struggle. Chelsea win the struggle. Now it's the time of Man City. You know, I being a sympathizer of Liverpool with the outstanding game that we kind of bit rely on that we're gonna win that game, but it's not gonna be an easy match for Liverpool. So the same with anyone that going to Everton, be it home or away, it's not going to change the mentality. They already developed that mentality. because we've seen it happen again. They gone without conceding goals or going draw and all this stuff. It kind of part of them now. All right, they prefer taking a draw than a loss. The team having a bad form. I mean, in bad form, they're not scoring goals, they're not winning games, and then they say, okay, we go the other way. We're gonna defend and go for a 0-0 or go for a 1-1. And it's a serious business for Everton. That's a serious business, and I know Pep Guardiola is alarming to him going there tomorrow because Man City got to win tomorrow. You know, tomorrow game is like a final to Man City. You got to win that game tomorrow. If you lost or draw that game, I don't know where they're going to be at looking at the start of the coach. But, he had a very tremendous record with Man City. So it helping him keeping his job up to now despite the poor run or poor form of Man City right now. So my prediction for that match tomorrow is 1-0 to Man City. Musa Muta, he's off, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll continue flowing. That's fine until he can get back. We saw the game with Chelsea. I just go a little bit in a game with Chelsea against Everton. Chelsea controlled the ball. They had the majority ball possession that game, but they still couldn't get a goal. So this is troubling to bigger side, and they have put out that performance against second and third play in the league. Those things are in better form than Man City, and they managed to pull out a draw against them, especially 0-0 with Chelsea. Man City already thinking what to do. They're not even, concentrating. They're kind of concentrating on how to break that solid defense down to get a goal. It's going to be their major concern tomorrow. It's a season-saving match for Man City tomorrow in order to save their season and get back on track. I don't know even if the win tomorrow is going to continue for them because they are by phone players file, player drive phones and that they drive their phone, they can't find their 14. It's just a terrible moment for them. Like I said, it's not in one department of the team, it's in every department of Man City that on that pitch, from the goalkeeper going to the defense. The goalkeeper is part of the defense as well. So the defense, the midfield, and the attack, they're struggling in everywhere. Haaland is not scoring goals. I saw it again against Man City. Man United. I saw it again against Aston Villa. He went 77 minutes without a goal attempt. That's a terrible, terrible, performance from him. Any manager would take him, and they would take him off again and put him on the bench. You can't do that. You got 90 minutes. You already gone 77 minutes without any attempt or any problem. You causing no problem for the opposing defense. So we'll see what it pays tomorrow. But my prediction is 1-0 to Man City. Despite their bad form, despite the excellent defensive record from Everton this season, but I still do believe because of their current position, their current form, the current crisis of Man City, they're going to do everything possible to pull out a win tomorrow against Everton. It's not going to be a big margin, but they're going to do that.
All right, thank you very much for that. Otis.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back to the Football Heritage. Man City.
Don't be coming all the time, man.
Man City play
What?
tomorrow. They played at home. They will be at home to Everton. And City, they are in a terrible form. They have lost 9 of their last 12 games, 6 of their last 8 games in the Premier League. They only won 1 draw, 1 4 points. If the Premiership started November 1st, Man City will be 20th place in the Premier League table. They're the least team since November 4th. They get only 4 points since November 4th from 8 games. So, what's your take for tomorrow game?
Yeah, but anyway, thank you for the platform again. Once more, we are here to discuss the Premier League and other games around. For me, Man City, what I foresee in that game, because today I was trying to look at the games. I was looking at the schedule of the games today, and I was looking at both teams form. I was watching some highlights from some of the games, but the only thing that's going to make Man City win that game tomorrow is because Everton is a team that find it difficult to get goal. But when you look at the kind of football that Everton play, defensive play, and you look at the way they can attack, only when they get in goal, that game is going to be difficult for Man City tomorrow. And the kind of way of playing to defending, where they sit back a lot, observe you, and see what you can do, possess the ball, give you the ball, possess it a lot, then before they pick up their chances, but they can't usually allow their chances. I see Man City winning that game tomorrow, but the score not going to be that high. Maybe it's going to be like 1-0 or 2-0.
1-0. Yeah. Is that your final prediction or 2?
2-0.
2-0 to Manchester City. Okay. Thank you very much for that. For me, that game is going to be a very, very difficult game. Everton, they are very, very defensive. And their front line is terrible. Ashley Young is out, suspended, 5 yellow card. But their front line is very, very terrible. That's the problem with Everton. And for City, they too, they are not really scoring this season. If you mark Erling Haaland out of the game, Jeremy Doku can score. Savino struggling. He has not scored since he went to City. So for me, it's going to be a 1-1 draw. That's my prediction for that game, 1-1. And we move on to the next game. Chelsea. High-flying Chelsea will be at home to Fulham tomorrow. And their last 5 meetings in the Premier League between Fulham and Chelsea have the edge. They have won 3 of their last 5 Premier League games against Fulham. They draw 1, they lost 1. Chelsea also, they are in form. Their last 5 Premier League games, they have won 4, draw 1. The one draw was against Everton this gone weekend. For Fulham, on the other hand, their last 5 Premier League games, they draw 4, they won 1. But if you look at their fixture, 3 of those 4 games they drew away to Tottenham, they drew with Arsenal, they drew away to Liverpool. So those draws, they were difficult games. And Fulham is one of the Premier League teams that we call so-called small team. They play big games. They get prepared for big games. And they barely lose big games. And tomorrow, Chelsea, it's going to be a very hard game tomorrow. So, Filippo Izaki, let me come to you. What's your take on that game tomorrow? Fulham at Chelsea.
Yeah. Fulham, they are performing well this season. Really, because they are with some big team and they are trying their best. They play Arsenal, they've gone down. They make way, the game went draw. And they've gone down, they play Liverpool again. They got good record, they beat team them. So I believe that they have team and they are going against Chelsea tomorrow. So they are not going to sit down and watch. They're going to play. They're going to play to get their 3 points, but it's not going to be easy. That's why, on the other hand, Chelsea trying to eliminate them to get it to get a 3 points, but it's not going to be easy. And Chelsea playing at Stafford Bridge tomorrow, so they want to trap at all means so they can carry their 3 points. They play Everton, they won down. They were able to give one point, but now they want to beat tomorrow. So the game is an open game. But I believe that my prediction is that Chelsea is going to be maybe 1-0, but they the score is not going to be higher.
1-0. Your final prediction. All right. Thank you
Yes.
very much, Filippo Izaki. Mr. Connor, let me come to you. Chelsea, half-line Chelsea. They won 4 of their last 5 Premier League games, and they're sitting second place right now, 4 points behind Liverpool Football Club, play 1 game more than Liverpool, and they are 2 points ahead of Arsenal. But they couldn't break down or stumble Everton side this coming weekend. And their next game is again one of the top smaller team that know how to play big games. So what's your take on that game tomorrow? You're muted.
Another tricky match for Chelsea after dropping 2 points um, at Everton. We all know what Fulham capable of this season. We saw them against Arsenal. We saw them against Arsenal. We saw them against Liverpool. They caused so many trouble for Liverpool, and they started out very early because that's one of Liverpool's strength. When you're playing them, you got to be very careful with them the first 5 minutes. And then Everton decide. Fulham decide to go for Everton in the very moment of the game, and by the 17th minute, Liverpool was already down 1 goal and a man down. So it's going to be the same attitude they're going to put into that game tomorrow. It's a tricky match. It's a difficult match for Chelsea. Um, on the other hand, from the Chelsea point of view, Chelsea want to restore their winning way. They want to get back on that track after winning um, so many games in succession, and they dropped 2 points again. Uh, um, Everton. So they don't want to create that gap. They don't want Arsenal to catch up with them. And this is what can happen in the Premier League. If you start to concentrate on who is behind you, who is close to you, who is going to take you from your position, then it become more. It start adding pressure on you. Um, we saw it when Arsenal was up there, and it causing so many pressure. Now they found themselves in the tail spot. So Chelsea is getting to that position now. I think they need to be calm and just forget about the game that they dropped 2 points against Everton. Concentrate on Fulham because Fulham is a difficult side in the Premier League this season. And the thing about Fulham, from the Fulham point of view, is not only Fulham sitting to work defensively. Those guys chase every ball that on that feet. They go after everything, and they got so many quality in that squad. When they go on a break, those guys got so many quality. They got so many skills in terms of possessing the ball, creating chances on a break, and all this stuff. So it's going to be a tough match for Chelsea. Honestly, it's going to be a tough match. They're playing home. That may give them some level of advantage. The home fan going to be behind them, pushing forward, for them to get a goal. Um, on the other hand, their defense is not too good. That's one of Chelsea weaker this season. They got a brilliant Mayfield. They got a very compact Mayfield, and attacking wise, they're very good. They're scoring so many goals this season. So if you decide to just go and just keep going to score goals against those guys, and they got brilliant guy, Raul Jimenez. He's capable of controlling defender. He can contain two defenders. We saw him against Liverpool. The only problem he had in that game because of the strength of Van Dijk and how he ability to read the game. And this is what Chelsea is lacking in a defense. Chelsea don't have um, that leadership in defense anymore since the departure of Silva. They've been struggling with that. They got so many young players over there. They just playing. They got the energy, but the ability to read the game is very important, very vital in defensive wise, midfield wise as well. So they don't have that. And in midfield, it's okay. They got Mike Casado. He's playing that role now. He's doing an excellent job there. Um, so I think they're going to struggle again Fulham tomorrow because of what I just mentioned about the lack of leadership ability in Chelsea defense. So my prediction for that game tomorrow is going to be 1-1. It's going to be a tough match. It's going to be an open game because those guys are not going to sit back. They're going to keep coming at Chelsea. They're good at that. They're good on the break. And Chelsea, on the other hand, know that they got so many quality that score goals and do so many things on the ball. But defensively, they're not good enough to contain those guys, and that's going to be the problem for Chelsea tomorrow. So my prediction is a 1-1 score.
1-1.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Ote, let me come to you. Tomorrow, Chelsea, they are at home to Fulham, one of the most stubborn team in the Premier League. And Fulham last 5 games in the Premier League, they have drawn 4, won 1. Chelsea, on the other hand, they draw 1, they won 4. And tomorrow will not be an easy task because looking at Fulham, they drew at Anfield, they drew with Arsenal, they drew at Tottenham Hotspur. So coming into that game tomorrow, it's a very tricky task. But let me get your opinion for the match tomorrow. What's your take?
Yeah, the game tomorrow, it's going to be a tough side. We know the both teams are in form this season, but the Leicester side is Fulham. So for me, I know that game going to be tough because Fulham is one of the team. It's one of the team in the. Excuse me, it was one of the team in the Premier League this season that I gave in a bigger one, a very very tough side. The prediction for that game would be a draw game, but the scoreline going to be around 2-2 because I see Fulham going to pull out a full fight against Chelsea tomorrow.
So your final score is a 2-2?
Yeah.
All right, Otis, thank you very much. And for me, that game tomorrow, it's a tricky one, but I think it's gonna be a very hard game. It'll be a very close one. I think Chelsea gonna win 2-1. That's my prediction. 2-1 win for Chelsea. And let's go to the next game in the Premier League. Will be Wolves versus Manchester United. Manchester United, they are struggling right now, and they have won only 2 of their last 5 Premier League games. And Wolves, on the other hand, they just fired our manager, and the first game after they sacked their coach, they won. But they lost 4 games before their last game. So their last 5 games in the Premier League, they have won only 1, they lost 4. But the last 5 meeting between the 2 teams, Manchester United won 4, Wolves won 1. But tomorrow is another day. It's at Wolves. So, Filippo Inzaghi, what's your take on the game tomorrow? 1 minute.
Yes. Manchester United, actually, they are struggling. They've gone down. They play Bournemouth. They were defeated 3-0. And now they are going against Wolves tomorrow. So now Wolves, they are not really impressive this season. So they're down and they just fired their coach, as you said. So Manchester United want to do all costs tomorrow to get a 3 point because now they are down. They are down because they are not really honest. Since the new coach come, he gave you all the player chances for them to prove themselves. But now he's still trying to pair his player there who is going to suit his team. But now this is the problem now they're facing now. But as time going from, I believe that Manchester United is going to get that spirit. And by going against Wolves tomorrow, I believe that they're going to beat Wolves tomorrow by 2-1. My prediction.
Thank you very much, Filippo Inzaghi, for that prediction. Mr. Corner, let me come to you. Tomorrow, Manchester United, they are away to Wolves and are both in terrible form. Manchester United lost three of their last five Premier League games, and Wolves lost four of their last five Premier League games. And in front of goal, Man United struggling to score goals. They have scored just about 22 goals in the Premier League this season. And in 17 games, that is abysmal. That is a very, very terrible record. You cannot score only 21 goals in your last 17 games. That's a terrible record, struggling in front of goals. And the opponent tomorrow is Wolves. So what's your take on that game for tomorrow?
Um, what I would say first was Wolf. Wolf putting out some surprises. We saw. I think that last game was against Leicester, right?
Yeah.
And they heavily won Leicester. So Wolves too is a team that had not been consistent this season. They kind of almost in the same position of Man United. The difference with Man United is bigger side than Wolf in terms of quality players and um, um, so they struggling. Man United struggling. Man United is inconsistent since the arrival of the new coach. That's one of the problem of Man United right now. They won against Man City. We thought it was a new beginning for Man United, and then they struggled um, to what's the name of the team? They lost to
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth 3-0, which was terrible for them. That was a bad performance from Man United perspective. It was so embarrassing. The home fan felt so embarrassed after winning a difficult match against City, despite the form of City, but they still arrived. The rivalry is still there. They still a rival team. And then you got humiliated um, at your next game, which was the game Bournemouth. So we don't want to say Man United is going to be uh, good enough against Wolf. They might because they need to do that. But the inconsistency of Man United is what alarms me. You cannot go and win game and win crucial match and win an important game, and then the following game you pull out a terrible performance. Um, I said this this going time. I think Man United problem is not a manager problem. Um, those players on the team not not giving their best. They're not giving 100%, and which is bad for the team. All right, which is bad for the team. So my prediction for that game tomorrow is going to be um, 2-1 in favor of Man United. That's what I feel. But the reason why I said 2-1 is because Man United just lost to Bournemouth. They want to get back on a winning way, and they have to do that. They have to restore their confidence because if things of such start happening to a team, it can break the confidence. It can break the confidence, especially you got a new manager. This guy is trying to restore the prestige of Man United. All right, he want to bring Man United back to where they used to be. Man United is a big team for them to be playing like a ordinary team. It's not a good team for them. That's the reason why the board of Man United look at this guy. They believe that this guy can turn things around for them, and why they brought him. So those players on the team, if you cannot give your 100, you cannot give all, you cannot give 100%, you cannot put in time doing games. It's obvious this guy is going to get you out. He's not going to compromise that. I have said, and you can see it since he came. You can see the performance of other players, some players. that was them, kind of performing. Their game kind of changed because they want to steal on United. Those so-called big names that feel that they already achieved everything, they're getting big money and all this stuff. They just don't care. They're playing like how they used to be playing. We saw it in a Baltimore game. Some class player on the team, and I believe this guy going to get rid of them. So all you got to do now, just keep working with what you got until the market can open. Man United is going to go in January transfer to get few players and then try to strengthen, but then they need to do a major reshuffling over the during the summer. But for that game tomorrow, they're going to try by all costs. The coach going to influence this guy. I believe he's talking to them, and he need to do that because he got to do something. He got to pull us some magic results, and you need um, disciplined player. You need committed players to give you those results. He already started working on some of them. He's not thinking about Rashford anymore. Um, Garnacho was one of those that was kind of sidelined when that incident occurred, but he decided to bring him back, meaning he's willing to work with him. All right. So he's going to be looking at players that are willing to listen, that are willing to improve, that are willing to execute his message. All right, those are the kind of players he's going to work with. Other than that, Man United is playing like a ordinary team right now. Hopefully, they can win tomorrow, and I do believe with the influence of the coach, he's going to try to make sure to use the rightful people that want to listen to him, that want to execute his instruction. And when he do that, those guys will be able to give him a positive result tomorrow because they need it after he humiliated them 3-0 over the weekend. So my prediction is a 2-1 victory to Man United.
Thank you very much. Otis, let me come to you tomorrow. Manchester United, 11:30 Central Time will be at the Molineux to face Wolves. And both teams struggling. Man United, they lost this gone weekend at home to Bournemouth. They had a lot of chances and they didn't capitalize. They didn't score, particularly the disgraceful club captain Bruno Fernandes had a lot of chances, but he didn't take them. And tomorrow they will be at struggling Wolves. So what's your take on the game, Otis?
Wolves is not informed as well as Manchester United. Both teams are very, very terrible this season. But going away to Wolves is another tough side too. And for the performance that I see from Manchester United, if they neutralize the chances tomorrow, for me, I foresee a draw. But if they don't neutralize the chances tomorrow, I see them getting another defeat from over there because despite Wolf form, but it's a very tough side to go to too. And with the kind of way that I see Manchester United can play, where they just take game by instance and not that kind of tempo into the game. They observe small teams. They want to observe the small team play discretion before they can start to attack. It's a kind of bad form for Manchester United. So for me, for that game, I foresee a draw in there.
What's your prediction?
I see a 1-1 draw for that game.
All right, 1-1 draw. Thank you very much. Otis, it's gonna be a hard game tomorrow because mostly away from home in the Premier League, most of the away games they are very difficult because every Premier League team, whether the team is first place, or the team is second or 20th place, their home ground is a very difficult game. It doesn't matter the position of the team in the league. As long as they are playing home, it is a difficult match. So tomorrow game is going to be the same for Man United because Man United is struggling mostly up front, 17 games, 21 goals score. That is awful. And you cannot win football match without scoring. to be able to win a football game, you have to score goals. And this is the major problem for Man United. Man United, they don't score. And until this rebuild process is going to be a long process, it's not going to be a quick fix. So if any Manchester United fan out there, you think it's going to be a quick fix, you daydreaming, because the quality in our squad is abysmal. If you look at the money that was spent on the players, you look at Anthony going for 80 million pounds. You look at Harry Maguire going for around 80 million pounds. And they're not even worth. Nobody can pay 20 million pounds for those players right now. And to say Erik ten Hag spent over 500 million on our squad, it is disgraceful. He committed crime. They should take him back to the UK for prosecution. This guy committed a lot of footballing crimes. And so it's going to be a long process. And Man United, they just have to forget about qualifying for the for next season Champions League through the Premier League, because in my opinion, as a Manchester United fan, it's not going to happen. Our form, we are very, very inconsistent. It's not going to happen. A lot of teams out there, they are good. So we will not qualify through the Premier League. And I think the coach, he needs to throw all his eggs in a Europa League bag, because that's the only pathway, the only reliable pathway for Manchester United to qualify for next season Champions League is through the Europa League. But coming to tomorrow again, it's a tough one. It will not surprise me if Man United don't win, but I will not sit there and predict against Man United, but I will not be shocked. I won't be shocked if Man United don't win tomorrow, because it's something that I will not be shocked. But I'm going to predict 3-2 win for Man United. Manchester United 3, Wolves 2. So that's my prediction, 3-2. And we move on to the last game for tomorrow, which will be at Anfield. Liverpool, the league leader, the team that is tipped to win their 20th title, their second Premier League title, Liverpool, they will be at home tomorrow in the last game for Boxing Day to struggling rival Leicester City. And if we look at the last 5 meetings between the two teams, Leicester City, they won 2 games. Liverpool won 3. So, if we take their last 5 meeting, it is a little bit close. But present form, those two teams, they are different. Liverpool is going for the title, and Leicester City, they are fighting for survival. Liverpool have 5 games in the Premier League. They draw 2, Newcastle and Fulham, and they won 3. Leicester City, on the other hand, 3 defeats in their last 5, 1 win, 1 draw. So they're struggling. And Liverpool, they are flying, scoring goals for fun. Filippo Inzaghi, what's your take on the Liverpool and Leicester City game?
Who are you talking to me?
Filippo Inzaghi. You muted.
Are they season right now? Liverpool. Are they season right now? Liverpool is the best team in the Premier League now. And so Liverpool, they have a good team. They have a good team, and now tomorrow they play on Anfield tomorrow. They are going to make their fans, all their fans coming tomorrow for the Boxing Day tomorrow. So they want to win tomorrow. Anything that's going against Liverpool right now, that spirit is not there, because Liverpool now they are a real contender at this present moment. They are playing well. They are midfielder. They are holding ball. They are scoring. They have that spirit for now. So they have good team. So there's no match now, no team in the Premier League now that is going to stand in front of Liverpool. Even the team are going against them now, that fear is there, because no one is want to go around Liverpool. So for this time, actually Liverpool they have that spirit, and everybody is happy. All the players happy. Under the new manager, they are performing, they are scoring. Some game there 3-4. Actually, Liverpool they have best team in this season. So they are going to win tomorrow 4-0.
All right, Filippo Inzaghi, thank you very much for that prediction. Mr. Colin, let me come to you. Your team, Liverpool, they will be at home tomorrow, Anfield. The league leader, they are 4 points clear of Chelsea, 6 points clear of Arsenal, with a game in hand against Everton. And they got back to winning ways against Tottenham Hotspur. They demolished Tottenham 6 goals to 3. But tomorrow, struggling Leicester City will visit Anfield. And Mo Salah, he's on fire. He is the top goal scorer right now in the Premier League. He has more assists this season in the Premier League than any other player. What's your take on the game?
Anfield is always a difficult place to go. Everybody knows that um, in the back of Premier League, all the teams are aware of that. They're aware of Liverpool performances at Anfield. More especially, they're in a very tremendous form right now. They have in a very good run. Um, it's not only Mo Salah. There are so many players over there that are scoring goals, and those are kind of things that can give you the lead. You don't have to depend on one person to score goals for you. Um, but the tricky aspect of that game, Leicester City is a struggling team. They don't want. They just came from the championship. They don't want to go back. They don't want to be relegated. So every single game that Leicester City goes to, um, they want to get the best. They want to get win. If they can, they put out a draw. This is their mission in order to save their season. All right, because their mission is to stay in the Premier League at least, and then try to build a team again. Start winning games for next season. But this time around, they're going against a very tough side, which is the Liverpool. From the Liverpool standpoint, they don't want to drop points. They just want to keep winning games, game by game. Um, those three teams fight second and third. Every one of them got the same um, mentality right now. Every game that you're going to, try to win your game. Forget about the result of the other team result. Um, just focus on your game. Just win and keep winning and give you a better chance of winning the league. But if you look at the performance, the current form of Liverpool, um, this I think is going to be strong for Leicester City tomorrow. Leicester City going to have some movement. They're going to get try to come and do some stuff. But one thing that kind of observe of the current team of Liverpool, his game management, his ability to read the game, his substitution, his ability to analyze the opposing team prior to a game. It been so excellent to the extent that he's not even, getting one person up there that kind of, except for Mo, but he kept on rotating um, um, Luis Diaz, Capo. For Jota, he just came back from injury. So he ability to rotate those guys based on based on the team that they're going to play. So every game he got different person. Some game he going to start Capo, Salah, and Diaz, and some game he'll start Nunes, Capo, and Salah. Salah is always there. He's consistent because of his work rate, his contribution to the team is so exceptional. He assists the goals he scored, how he killed defense, and so there's no way he's going to rotate Salah except he want to rest him for an important match, or maybe he feel that he got some fatigue, so he need a break. But they're going to be strong for Leicester City tomorrow. You look at Liverpool, Compact Mayfield, those guys in Liverpool Mayfield, they're just unbelievable. This season, their performances, every time he rotates somebody, sometimes he bring in Curtis Jones, Ryan Gravenberg, and Alice McAllister, and they still put out a brilliant performance. You know, last game against Spurs, we saw what this guy did. All right, Superstar. He was one of the best on Liverpool team that game. We saw what he did, and so they're just going to be strong for Leicester. Leicester is going to try to come from the huge defeat that they just received from Wolf, but unfortunate for them, they're going against a tough side tomorrow. So I don't care how difficult that game be tomorrow. Liverpool is going to try to win it. They're going to be too strong for them. They got the advantage. They got a home advantage. We all know they're fan of Liverpool, and they are at a stage where they can afford to drop points right now because they want to maintain that the season still long. You got 2 games to finish out the first phase of the season. For them, they got 3 games. Um, so those things they kept on looking at them. We saw how hungry they were in the Spurs game because they know Spurs is a tough side attacking wise. So they were looking at all the same, and it's going to be the same with the Leicester City game. So my prediction for that game tomorrow is going to be 3 goals to nothing against Leicester tomorrow.
All right. Thank you very much for that prediction. Otis, let me come to you. As you can see on the screen there, Mo Salah is in terrific form. He has 15 goals in the Premier League. He is the highest goal scorer in the Premier League this season. And this guy cannot stop scoring. And tomorrow, Liverpool play Leicester City, one of the struggling team in the Premier League. And Leicester City, they are playing for survival while Liverpool playing to win the Premier League. So, Sai, as you can see, Mo Salah name the higher assists in the Premier League this season. Mo Salah with 11 assists. He has all the best stats, higher assists, higher score. What's your take on the game tomorrow?
But one thing we are not taking into consideration too, observe the Premier League from time immemorial. After the season break, it can be difficult on the bigger side. I don't know why. Just watch right after the season break, because they got a couple of days break. Liverpool get an edge in the league right now in the Premier League, and the form they're in, they are in a very, very good form. That it takes injury to break that form down right now. Only injury can break that form because they are in a form that it's not easy to even predict any game for them without them losing. So going against a side like Leicester City that's struggling, it's going to be a little bit difficult game for Liverpool, but that score going to be a high score. Maybe for me, I predict Liverpool 4-1.
4-1 to Liverpool. Thank you. For me, it's gonna be a one-way traffic. Leicester City, they are struggling, and I think Salah, the Liverpool attack in transition on the break, they are the best thing in world football on the break. This is why I said this going weekend, if and only if Liverpool they meet Barcelona in the Champions League, and Barcelona play with that high line, they're going to beat them the way they beat Tottenham. Anything you play with that kind of high line in the center circle with fast attack, Nunes, Diaz, Salah, they're going to hammer you. And Leicester, they're going to stay deep because at Anfield, even big team, you can just go to Anfield, you attack. You got to stay deep and play with a counter-attack system, but Liverpool attack will be too much for them. And the main man, Mo Salah, one of the best players right now in the world, he's so far this season. So far, Mo Salah is the best player in the Premier League, even though the British media will say it's Cole Palmer or Bukayo Saka. But the artists will tell you it is Mo Salah. And as you can see on the screen, Mo Salah is 8th place, the all-time goal scorer list in the Premier League. He has scored 172 goals in the Premier League, 3 goals beyond Thierry Henry, and 5 goals beyond Frank Lampard, 12 goals beyond Sergio Aguero. So this guy is heading for greatness. Before he leave Liverpool Football Club, he will be remembered as one of the greatest players ever to grace the English Premier League. And I think Liverpool going to win 5-0. I can just see the same way I predicted a high-scoring game against Spurs. Even though I said 4-1, 6-3, 3 goals different. So Liverpool going to kill them. They will be too strong for Leicester City. I can't see Ruven Nesoro doing any tactical adjustment in that game to draw or win at Anfield. So my prediction is 5-0. So let's predict the rest of the game on Boxing Day. The first one, Bournemouth against Crystal Palace. Inzaghi, what's your prediction for that game? Inzaghi, what's your prediction for that game? You muted.
2-1.
2-1. 2-1 in favor of Bournemouth.
Yes,
Okay.
2-1.
What about Newcastle?
Yeah.
Was it Newcastle versus Aston Villa? What's your prediction? Newcastle versus
2-2.
Aston Villa? 2-2?
2-2.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. What's your prediction? Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham?
Not here for 1-0.
1-0 to Forest. What about Southampton versus
Yes.
West Ham? Southampton versus West Ham. What's your prediction? Inzaghi, what's your
0-0.
prediction? 0-0? All right. Thank you very much. Mr.
Yes.
Connor, let me come to you. What's your prediction for Bournemouth against Crystal Palace?
Crystal Palace and Bournemouth, that's a 1-1 game.
1-1. What about Newcastle versus Aston Villa?
Newcastle and Aston Villa, that's a 2-1 for Aston Villa.
2-1 away win for Villa. Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham. 4th place Nottingham Forest.
2-2.
2-2. Southampton versus West Ham.
Southampton versus West Ham, 1-0 in favor of Southampton.
I didn't get a Liverpool and Leicester prediction.
I said 3-0.
All right,
in favor of
3-0. All right, thank you. Otis, what's your prediction? Bournemouth versus Palace.
Bournemouth and Palace, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth. Bournemouth going to be it's a 3-2 game
3-2. I predicted 2-1 to Bournemouth.
for Bournemouth in favor of Bournemouth.
Yeah. What about Newcastle versus Aston Villa?
Newcastle going to be Aston Villa 2-1.
2-1. I said 2-2. What's your prediction? Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham.
Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham. Nottingham Forest is going to be a 2-1 to Nottingham Forest.
I predicted 2-1 to Nottingham Forest. What's your prediction? Southampton versus West Ham.
Southampton versus West Ham. It's a draw, 1-1.
1-1 draw. I predicted 2-1 to West Ham. So we now move on to Friday. The Gunners play Arsenal will be playing Friday at home to Ipswich Town. Struggling Ipswich Town will be away to play Ipswich Town. They are 19th place in the Premier League and they will be away to play Arsenal. The last 5 meetings between the two teams, Arsenal won 4, they lost 1. And Arsenal last 5 games in the Premier League, they won 3, they draw 2. For Ipswich Town, on the other hand, the last 5 games, they just won 1 with 4 defeats. And our Gunners coming into this game, I coming to you first, OT, you being a Gunners fan, and you guys are 2 points beyond Chelsea, 6 points beyond Liverpool, but you play 1 game more than Liverpool, and tomorrow it's a must-win game for you, especially if Chelsea and Liverpool win. Friday is your game. Friday is a must-win game, especially if Chelsea and Liverpool win their games. That will put a lot of pressure on you to win on Friday. So what's your take on that game?
Yeah, for the Arsenal and Ipswich Town, you know the game once, but at football too, sometimes we have to look at Ipswich Town too. But with the kind of free flow football they play, it will be when you play Arsenal with the kind of free flow football, it's difficult for you to stop Arsenal from scoring. That's the fact. So for me in that game, I'm going to see a little bit of score. Maybe it's going to be like 3-1 into that game because I see how Arsenal right now they opening up when it comes to everybody accusing Arsenal of self piece. So now we try to flip we try to flip it around because when people look into the loaf of bread, you gotta flip it on the other side and let us see the crumbs from the side. So we try to everybody now accusing Arsenal of the Premier League self-piece team, the UNESCO for self-pieces. So we try to create now in the sense that I can see it. But my problem was I have a little problem with my coach, Atata. We gotta create impact, but I do agree Jesus is not a prolific goal scorer, but he's somebody that can hammer defense. By you leaving him or and playing Kai Havertz, the both people the scoring record is not good. So somebody who can create and somebody who the both of them can score, I would prefer you using Jesus off from than using Kai Havertz. But I think he's trying to see a little bit of it. Most especially with Saka injured now, so maybe you're going to give a little room for the both of them to be on the same page together. But for me, I see that score. Maybe it'll be around 3-1. That's my prediction.
You done?
Yeah, I said his prediction, the score going to be around 3-1.
What's your prediction again?
3-1.
3-1.
3-1 to Arsenal. Okay, Otis, Sai, 3-1 to Arsenal. Filippo Inzaghi, play Arsenal. They are home Friday to struggling Ipswich. Ipswich Town, they are way down the Premier League. They have won only 2 games this season. One of those 2 games was away to Tottenham Hotspur. And they are away on Friday at the Emirates against Arsenal, play Arsenal. So what's your take on the game?
You know, Arsenal game is about it's all about struggle. Arsenal don't have point struggle. Now they are using Gabriel Jesus now as a struggle. That will help them small for them to carry them up because Arsenal they play good football, they hold ball, they play collective ball, but their main problem is struggle. You don't have struggle. But even though Gabriel Jesus is now really performing that season, and Ali they gave him time because he's not informed because they have to give him time because he's a struggle that he can score. And Kai Havertz cannot score. Kai Havertz can play, but he's not a point struggle. So being that they gave that opportunity to Gabriel Jesus now, I believe that Arsenal is going to do something. Maybe my prediction is going to be like 2-1 in favor of Arsenal.
Okay, Inzaghi, thank you very much for that prediction. 2-1 to Arsenal, according to Filippo Inzaghi. Mr. Colin, let me come to you. Arsenal, they are home to struggling Ipswich Town. They have won only 2 games all season. 1 game at home and 1 game away. And they are away at the Emirates. Arsenal, last 5 games, they have not lost. They draw 2 of their last 5 games. They drew to Everton and Fulham. But Friday is a must-win game for Arsenal. So let me hear your opinion on that game.
Well, that game is going to be a one-way traffic tomorrow. It's clear. We know Ipswich being struggling. There's no match. They're not, they're not going to be a match to Arsenal tomorrow. That game, Arsenal just won, and they're playing home. So if you look at they're gonna perform in their last game, the number of goals they score. I know Bukayo Saka is down. He's one of the key figures on Arsenal team, but Ipswich going to struggle. They're going to try to defend, but they're not going to survive against Arsenal tomorrow. And on Friday, I think Arsenal going to win that game 4-1. The score is going to be huge. We know Arsenal is not willing to drop any points right now, especially when they're playing um, underperformance team or bottom team. Those teams too, sometimes they pull out a surprises, but not with the game against Arsenal. Arsenal is going to be too strong for them.
All right. Thank you very much. And you said what's your prediction again? I didn't.
4-1 if it were Arsenal.
All right, 4-1 to Arsenal. Yeah, for me, Arsenal, it will be a one-way traffic. I think they're gonna win. Despite Bukayo Saka will be missing, but I think they have a lot of players that can get the job done tomorrow on Friday. But it's crucial that Arsenal win because if you look at their next few games in the Premier League, after that game on Friday, their next game, New Year Day, they will be playing away to Brentford. That's Brentford give any tough team a game. After that, few days later, they will be away to Brighton. It's one of the teams that always give big team problem, especially Arsenal. Then they get the North London derby with Tottenham Hotspur, which is a difficult game always. Then they get Aston Villa. So this is the easier among their next 5 Premier League fixture. They have to win, especially playing home, because if they don't win, then they can kiss the Premier League. Their hope of winning, the slim hope Arsenal have of winning the Premier League, they can say goodbye to it. So my prediction will be 3-0 to Arsenal. Arsenal 3 and Ipswich Town 0. So Otis, let me ask you. Otis, are you there? Okay, Mr. Collins, okay, Otis is back. Let me ask you, Otis, before we go, I just want to ask the Premier League race, we are almost in the middle of the season. Liverpool, they have the 3 games, Arsenal, and most of the other teams have 2 more games to play their first 19 game, which will be 50% of the Premier League season. And the January transfer window is around the corner. So, let me hear from you. What can Arsenal do to strengthen their team for them to win the Premier League? For them to reduce the point deficit and go above Liverpool to win the Premier League in May?
They just have to be consistent. They got a full squad. This full squad that is there, they have to be consistent. Consistent with scoring. If everybody consistent in scoring, usually last in the chances with every game that they meet. Because we are complaining, yeah, we need a striker. We know we need a striker, yeah, but we need somebody to get clinical. But sometimes the market is so funny. Most especially the Premier League. Sometimes you go get somebody, more especially out of the Premier League. You go get somebody, you bring them. We have seen it from a lot of strikers. They can only a few players can come from outside the Premier League and adapt quick into the Premier League when it comes to January transfer. But it's very difficult for a lot of players to adapt. The only strengthening part you can do, I think, what most of the team can always succeed from is defensively when they try to buy a defender to build up their team. But when it comes to scrap, you observe the Premier League record, you observe the Premier League. January transfer, it takes a lot of scrapper to come over there and succeed. Because the Premier League is so difficult, faster than almost all the leagues around the world. So when strikers come over there, they are very difficult. I'm not disputing the fact that we don't need a striker. We need a striker. But when you observe the Premier League, if you observe a lot of teams that are winning, they are winning their games, the strikers are scoring. But the wingers are scoring a lot of goals. If you get 4 or 5 players on your team that are producing, the wingers producing, along with the striker, you can get it done. You can get your job done. It's just to be consistent in winning. Every other game should be a very great game, a hard tempo game for you, and see how you can win the games. But with I see people arguing, oh, Arsenal need a striker now. Yeah, we do need. We don't have a striker. But when it comes to the Premier League now, we want a higher scoring team but it's just that the games that we're not winning is the games that we don't put tempo in. We got to be consistent in winning. Because striker now, we do agree, everybody. But I think one of the things that our focus right now is, I do agree, striker, but we should bring one more creative player that can boost up the team, both creative and defensive, that can boost up the team. Though I know we need a striker, but what kind of striker are we going to get now outside the league that will come and just start performing? It's not easy. But we should look, if we want to look, we should look right into the Premier League and see who we can bring from there. But you can't bring anybody from outside the Premier League and think that it's going to be real clinical right now in the Premier League. I doubt it. Not easy.
So let me ask you, so if you were in charge, right? You were the decision maker. You are the one making the decision and you have the money available. How many players you think Arsenal need for the January transfer window to win the Premier League? And who are those players you're going to buy?
For me, right now, if I really need players to boost up my attack right now, I'm gonna go for one more midfielder to boost up, creative midfielder, and get maybe one more winger to add to my team. I will get striker, but I can get striker in January.
So you think, okay, so who are the two players?
If I really want player right now, I'll go for Lukman.
And the other one, the midfielder?
Real creative midfielder. That's a guy that playing for Atalanta right now as a creative midfielder behind that play rank number 10. I call him. I was monitoring his game. That guy is I will try to get his name, but he's very, very creative. I think Argentina or somewhere from South America there. I think it's I will try to get. I need a winger, prolific winger, and a good or creative midfielder.
So you don't need a striker.
Right now, I don't need a striker. I just need goals to win games. You want Liverpool team? Liverpool striker together. I'm not going to score.
The difference. You don't have a Mo Salah. That's the difference. It's like when Barcelona had Messi, they didn't need a striker who can score more than Messi. When Real Madrid had Cristiano Ronaldo, you don't have a Mo Salah. If you have a Mo Salah in your team, your number 9 doesn't need to score more goal. You saw it when Liverpool had Firmino, Sadio Mane, and Mo Salah. Firmino was the number 9, but both Mane and Salah scored more than Firmino. Firmino used to drive deep to create space for Sadio and Salah. So, Mr. Collet, let me come to you. The Premier League season is almost halfway, and Liverpool 4-point clear with a game in hand. So, if you were in a position where you are the decision maker of Liverpool Football Club and looking at Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, their contract will expire next year, June. That is 6 months from now. They can start to talk to foreign club this January. So, what can Liverpool do to strengthen that team for them to maintain that top spot until the final day of the campaign?
For the rest of the season, if I were in that position, my concentration and focus would be trying to convince those 3 guys that you just mentioned, like Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, try to give them a better contract that would convince them to stay, because those 3 guys are very important to the team. You don't want to touch Liverpool team right now. You don't want to do too much thing with Liverpool team. They got a very solid band. You don't want to concentrate on bringing new player for this season. You might want to do that at the end of the season, after the season is over and during the summer transfer. So convince Van Dijk, giving 2-3 years, Mo Salah the same. The same with Trent Alexander-Arnold. It will bring the boost to the team because their teammates really need those guys. They know their contribution. They know what the guy bring to the table. In terms of winning games, in terms of creating, in terms of doing so much. Like Van Dijk, the leadership ability Van Dijk has on that team, that he contribute to the team is very huge, and very important. He played that role as leader. So you don't have to concentrate on getting new player right now. The team is in a tremendous form. You got so many options up front, and they all scoring goals. Um, Jota just returned. He's a great addition to the team. He was on the sideline for over a month, and he just came back. So it's gonna be like a new signing. They got Chase. He just recovered as well. So attacking wise, Mayfield wise, you got so many options there for you to go and start looking for players, and you're not going to get a good players in January transfer. The Mayfield is good. You got so many options. All you need to do, convince those guys, concentrate on those guys' contract and give them a better contract that will make them to stay. And then just pray that your players stay positive because you don't want any major injury. It can affect any team. It's not only Liverpool. Um, but right now, you don't have to worry about bringing new players. Those guys doing good. If you bring any new player now, who you going to take off? Who you going to put on a bench? And if you start to do that, it bringing bad feelings. Like you see in the midfield, they got Gravenberg, they got Maesna. And let's see, Maesna, you got him, and you got Superstar, you got Carter June. You know, Elliot just came back from injury as well. He's not a star player like other players, but he's also good when he comes from the bench. Those are cover. If you bring in additional, those guys will not get. They will lose the chance of playing, and it become a serious issue on the team. So concentrate on renewing those guys' contract, and then they stay positive, and you get the best from the rest of them.
All right, thank you very much. Inzaghi, anything to say as it relates to Liverpool and Arsenal? What can they do what can Liverpool do to maintain their position in the Premier League as the leader until the final day of the season? And what can Arsenal also do for them to overtake Liverpool in the title race? Inzaghi, you muted. You muted. All right, go ahead.
You know, getting me?
Yeah,
what my brother just said concerning about Liverpool, sir, because Mohamed Salah, Alexander Arnold, their contract is getting to 10 million next season. But now, at this point now, because they are tapping the table and they are winning, Van Dijk is the captain. He need to inspire it. So maybe for the sake of this season, maybe they have to sign one season contract if they tire with the team now because they want to go for another competition. For the sake of this season now, or the Premier League, because they have to carry something this season. Last season, they don't carry anything. So this season, they are performing well as well in the Champions League. And now, when you look at they don't need player for now because if you look at it, because we buy one of our player from Juventus, Federico Chiesa. That boy is a good player. Since they make him on Liverpool, he's not playing any Premier League game. He's not playing any Premier League game because footballer, you have to look at yourself. And you look at the people that are on the field; they are performing very well. Cabo is playing well. Jota is playing well. Mohamed Salah is playing well.
So you mean they shouldn't buy Inzaghi? They shouldn't buy any player. They should just maintain the team.
They just maintain the team.
Okay, so what about Arsenal? What about Arsenal? Should they buy a player?
Yes, Arsenal, to chase Liverpool because they need player now. They
So
really struggle.
which position? Which
Maybe
position? So if you were in charge,
number
which
number
striker
now,
you would buy for Arsenal now to win the Premier League?
I will either go for 2 players now, Victor Osimhen or a 3 player. Victor Osimhen 1. The guy from Juventus number 9. I forgot the name.
Vlahovic.
Vlahovic.
All right, thank you.
And also the guy from PSG. The Portuguese player.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, Inzaghi. For me, Otis, I hope you're listening. And Arsenal, you say Arsenal, they don't need striker, but I think you're missing the point. Arsenal, they really need striker. You are acting like Mikel Arteta. It is not strange because this is how Mikel Arteta thinks, that Arsenal don't need a striker. But let me just tell you something. There are games wherein when the game is very close, difficult, there where a prolific goal scorer can score goal out of nothing. Like if you saw the Fulham game that you drew, the game against Everton, if you had a prolific goal scorer, some of the games you lost or drew, you wouldn't have lost or draw those games. And Jesus, probably, I know where you're coming from. Jesus last 2 games in all competition, he scored 5 goals against one team, Crystal Palace. So your judgment is based on Jesus' recent form. But I tell you what, Jesus is trying to stop Arsenal from getting new striker in the January transfer window. He is injury prone, and this guy, he's not reliable. He is very inconsistent. He's not a prolific goal scorer. For Kai Havertz, everyone knows the history. He's not a prolific goal scorer. So, if I were in charge of Arsenal, I would break the bank for Alexander Isak. This guy, his style of play suits Arsenal. He is not a striker that will just wait for the ball like Erling Haaland. He can get past 2-3 players and score. He is a brilliant goal scorer. And if you can get Alexander Isak, you can go and get Victor Osimhen. This guy is available. He is available. You go and get Osimhen. But for Arsenal to go into the January transfer window and they fail to buy a striker, they're going to finish 3rd place in the Premier League table. They will not finish 2nd. They will not. They will finish 3rd place. They will not win the league. And it is crucial. Arteta has been at this football club for 5 years. And one of the top teams in world football, this can only happen at Arsenal. Of course, 5 years, no Premier League title, no Champions League. You should be sacked. It doesn't matter where you finish. There is no trophy for 2nd place. Nobody will remember who finished 2nd in 2023, who finished 2nd in 2024, 50 years from now, 40 years from now. Nobody going to remember. It will not be written in a history book. The one are going to be remember who won the Premier League title in 2024, who won the Premier League title in 2023, and 2025, who will win the Premier League title. When they win, it will be in a history book, but not finishing 2nd. So let me ask you the last question before you can give you a parting comment for us to go. We almost all the time. And Otis, are you there? Okay, Otis is not there. Let me have Mr. Conner. Let me come to you. Looking at City form, previous season, they've been like sometimes 8-7 place in the Premier League title in December, and they came from the back to win the Premier League. But this season is different. We have never seen this type of drop off before in the history of the Premier League. We have never seen any defending champion to lose form like this. 12 consecutive games, lost now, draw 2, won 1. Very, very terrible record. And with the aging squad, the entire Mayfield, Ike Godogan, Kevin De Bruyne, Kovacic, every one of them in the middle of the park except Phil Foden, they are old. If we look at Jack Grealish in his late 20s, and they're struggling. The defense also, Kyle Walker is done. He should just go to Saudi Arabia to get his retirement benefit. And also, what can City do? What can they do to save their season this January transfer window?
Well, when we City saving a season, we need to define saving a season in which way.
Like to
Maybe
get back in a title race
uh,
or to get back in a title race.
from my perspective, from my opinion, I don't think City is thinking about getting back in its title race. What City is concentrating on now is fight to just be part of that first four, at least to qualify for the Champion League next season. And to do that, um, you're not going to get too many quality players in the January doing a January transfer. You might get one or two, but those are coming. They need time to adjust. The Premier League is a tough one, difficult to adjust. Some players come, they get adjusted right away, but again, to do that, they need additional players. Mommy, mommy. To do that, they need additional player to help them do that for them. Those guys that they got on the current team cannot do it alone. All right. So it's important for them to go in a transfer market and bring in full. I mean, maybe 3 or 4 players, particularly in the midfield and defense. All right. And then if you do that, the rest of the guys too need to step up their game. They got experience in the league. They knows the league very well. They also need to improve on a lot of things. And we may say the energy is not there to do. They got the idea to do some other stuff, but the energy is not there. So it's just difficult for Man City to save that season by getting back in the title race. They can try to get in a be part of the top four, but going for the title is impossible now for Chelsea.
Impossible for Man City.
Man City, sorry.
All right, thank you very much. And let me just ask you the last question that you can get your parting comment after you answer the question. Sporting Lisbon, they just fired their new coach. They hired after Ruben Amorim, and they have been struggling. The 12th game Amorim play in his Portuguese league, Sporting Lisbon won all their games. And since he left in the league, they have now won in the league. They are second place. And in the Champions League also, they lost all the game they played since Amorim left. And they fired their new coach. So what do you think is the cause for that drop off?
Well, it's clear. Amory, it showed that Amory is a brilliant coach. He's a good technician. Whatever he was doing, whatever he was doing at Sporting, it was really helping their game. And they didn't sell any player. They still got the same squad, but just the coach left and they start to struggle. They even went as firing their new coach. I don't know how they pull out that deal. Um, But again, the Portuguese league, there's not too much money. Sporting is not a big plus compared to Man United. But their best options was to maintain him for the season, strike a deal with Man United. Man United can go and he can leave at the end of the season because he had a future. He had a future there. He had a game plan, and everything changed. The new manager came with his own game plan, and it didn't work, and they got rid of him. So in a shorter period of time, can you imagine that since he left, how long he been, and then fired the coach? So it just showed that he was a brilliant uh, asset to them, but unfortunately for them, they he slipped out of their hand. Now he's at Man United. What he going through at Man United is just it's not a manager problem. We are seeing that. It's just the attitude of those players. They're not putting in much. They're causing so much problem for him. So um, the current form of Sporting it just say that Ruben is a very good potential manager. If he got the right foot mechanism into place, he can give you a good results.
All right. So what's your parting comment?
My parting comment is just looking forward to tomorrow game. Hopefully, Liverpool can win and maintain a 100% record this season. Uh, Looking forward to the game. It's a lot of fun, a lot of games that people watch. So nothing much I gotta say to that. Just looking forward to my team that's sympathizing in the back of the Premier League to continue their good run. And thank you guys for being here. It was wonderful sharing a platform with you guys tonight. Hopefully we can be here on the weekend to talk about this again.
All right. Thank you very much. Uh, Filippo Izagi. You listen to the questions that I asked, so I just want to hear your input. What is your view, right, when it comes to Sporting Lisbon sacking? Filippo, are you there? Oh, okay. Filippo Inzaghi is not here and he's gone. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not here, subscribe to the Football Heritage. The link is there. It's right in the description. Subscribe to the Football Heritage on YouTube. The link is there. It is the Football Heritage. Please go there and subscribe. And we'll be back the weekend. We'll be back Friday to bring you the preview of the weekend fixture. And we'll also be back on Sunday to discuss what happened in the Premier League. So we are all the time. And once again, please go. The link is in the description. Please go there and subscribe to the Football Heritage. And we'll be back here on Friday. Yeah, Friday. We'll be back Friday to give you it will not be a preview. We'll be having a reaction show on Friday because tomorrow we have a lot of games going on tomorrow. Boxing Day fixture. So Friday we'll come here to give you the post-match analysis. So please tune in Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central Time, and 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. Liberian Time. So you guys can have a pleasant day. Peace. We all are here.